Imagine if there existed a number so mysterious it kept a Nobel laureate in physics awake at night. A number that appears in the most fundamental calculations of the universe, and that, according to some of humanity's greatest minds, might hold the key to understanding reality at its deepest level. This number exists, and it is 137. Richard Feynman, one of the 20th century's most brilliant physicists, said that any self-respecting physicist should hang a sign with the number 137 on their wall and worry about it. Wolfgang Pauli, another giant of quantum physics, was so obsessed with this number that, when he was dying in the hospital, he noticed his room was number 137 and commented, "I will never leave this room alive." And he was right. Today, we're going to unravel one of modern physics' greatest enigmas. Why is the number 137 considered the most mysterious number in the universe? We'll discover how this seemingly simple number governs the force that holds atoms together, determines the color of stars, and might be the key to a unified theory of everything. Prepare for a journey that spans from the smallest subatomic particles to the largest cosmic structures. Welcome, cosmic explorers. I'm your guide on this fascinating journey through the mysteries of the cosmos, and together we're building an incredible community on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Today, we're going to explore something that will make you see the universe with new eyes. To understand why 137 is so special, we first need to talk about one of the most important discoveries in physics, the fine structure constant. But don't worry, I'll explain it in a way that will make complete sense. Imagine you're trying to understand how an orchestra works. Each instrument produces its sound, but there's something invisible coordinating everything: the conductor. In physics, the fine structure constant is like that invisible conductor, coordinating one of the universe's fundamental forces, the electromagnetic force. The electromagnetic force is responsible for practically everything we see and experience in daily life. It's what keeps electrons orbiting the nucleus of atoms. It's what makes light exist. It's what allows your eyes to see these words right now. Without it, matter as we know it simply wouldn't exist. Now, here's the fascinating part. When physicists calculated the strength of this force, they discovered it could be expressed by a pure, dimensionless number. This number is approximately 1 divided by 137, or more precisely, 0.007297. But physicists prefer to refer to its inverse, 137. Why is this so extraordinary? Because this number appears naturally in calculations, without anyone having put it there. It's as if the universe chose this specific value for one of its most fundamental laws. Let's use an analogy to make this clearer. Imagine you discovered that all cake recipes in the world, regardless of culture or era, always use exactly 137 grams of flour, not 136, not 138, but always 137. Wouldn't you think that was strange? That there must be something very special about that number? That's exactly what happens in physics. The discovery of this constant has a fascinating history involving some of humanity's greatest geniuses. It all began in the early 20th century, when physicists were trying to understand the structure of atoms. In 1916, Arnold Sommerfeld, a German physicist, was studying the spectral lines of hydrogen. When the light from a hydrogen atom is analyzed with precise instruments, instead of a single line, several very closely spaced lines appear. It's as if a seemingly pure musical note, when carefully analyzed, reveals itself to be composed of several subtly different notes. Sommerfeld discovered that, to explain this fine structure of spectral lines, he needed a specific number. But the story doesn't end there. In the following decades, as quantum physics developed, scientists discovered that this same number appeared in completely different calculations. It was like finding the same fingerprint at seemingly unrelated crime scenes. Here's something that will blow your mind. If the fine structure constant were even slightly different, the universe as we know it could not exist. If it were larger, electrons would be sucked into atomic nuclei and atoms would collapse. If it were smaller, electrons would barely be bound to nuclei and molecules wouldn't be able to form. It's as if the universe is balanced on the tip of a needle, and the number 137 is precisely the perfect balancing point. But wait, it gets even more impressive. This number doesn't just govern atoms, it determines how much light a charged particle can absorb or emit. It decides the transparency of a vacuum. It influences the color of stars and the chemistry of distant planets. Let's use another analogy. Imagine we discovered that the same mathematical proportion that determines the shape of a seashell also governs the orbit of planets, the growth of plants, and the pattern of waves in the ocean. That would be a revolutionary discovery, wouldn't it? The number 137 is exactly that in physics. Now, you must be wondering, why exactly 137? Why not 136 or 138? This is the question that has kept physicists awake at night for over a century. Richard Feynman, who won the Nobel for his work in quantum electrodynamics, called this mystery one of the greatest damn mysteries of physics. He said this number has been given to us experimentally, but nobody knows how to calculate it. Ites, one of the greatest mysteries of physics, a magic number that has been given to us and that man doesn't understand in any way. Other famous physicists were also fascinated by this number. Max Born said that 137 is Lord's playground. Leon Lederman called it Lord's number. Wolfgang Pauli developed a true obsession with it, even consulting psychologist Carl Jung to try to understand if there was any deeper meaning. Pauli's obsession was so intense that he even speculated whether 137 might have some Kabbalistic or mystical significance. Interestingly, in Jewish mysticism, the number 137 is the numerical value of the word Kabbalah in Hebrew. Pauli was intrigued by this coincidence, although as a rigorous scientist, he knew that coincidences don't prove anything. But here's what's truly fascinating from a scientific standpoint. As our understanding of physics advanced, we discovered that 137 isn't just an isolated number. It's part of an interconnected network of physical constants that all seem to be finely tuned to allow for the existence of a complex universe. In the modern theory of quantum electrodynamics, developed by Feynman, Julian Schwinger, and others, the fine structure constant appears in practically all important calculations. It's as if it were the DNA of the electromagnetic force, encoding all its fundamental properties. Let's think about it another way. Imagine you discovered that there's a number that appears in the recipe for water, in the formula for light, in the structure of DNA, and in the orbit of planets. Wouldn't you be curious to know why this number is so universal? That's exactly what 137 represents in physics. Some theoretical physicists believe that when we finally achieve a theory of everything, a theory that unifies all fundamental forces, the value of 137 will emerge naturally from the calculations, rather than having to be measured experimentally. It would be like discovering that all the pieces of a gigantic puzzle fit together perfectly, and the number 137 would be the central piece connecting everything. Others speculate that there might be parallel universes where the fine structure constant has different values, but only universes like ours, where it's approximately 1/137th, can develop complex structures like stars, planets, and life. This idea leads us to a profound reflection. Are we witnesses to something extraordinary? Do we live in a universe that won a cosmic lottery, where the fundamental numbers aligned in an almost miraculous way to allow for the existence of complexity consciousness and eventually beings like us, capable of contemplating these very mysteries? Today, with our most precise instruments, we know that the fine structure constant is approximately 1/137.036. The precision of this measurement is impressive. But even with all this precision, the mystery persists. Why this specific value? Some modern physicists are exploring theories where fundamental constants might vary over cosmic time or in different regions of the universe. If this is true, it would be a revolution in our understanding of reality. Other theories suggest that 137 might emerge from even more fundamental principles that we haven't discovered yet. Perhaps, in the not-too-distant future, someone in this community of cosmic explorers can contribute to solving this mystery. What we've learned today is that the universe isn't just a place of random objects and forces. There's a deep order, an underlying mathematical structure that is both beautiful and mysterious. The number 137 is like a window into that hidden order, a reminder that there's still much to discover about the fundamental nature of reality. From the first atoms that formed after the Big Bang to the complex molecules that make up our bodies, from the light of the most distant stars to the rays that allow us to see the world around us. All of this is governed by this mysterious number, and perhaps that's exactly what makes science so fascinating. In a universe that could be purely chaotic, we find order. In a cosmos that could be incomprehensible, we discover patterns, and sometimes these patterns reveal themselves through something seemingly simple like a number. 137. This leads us to a fundamental question. If the universe is governed by such specific and precise numbers, what does that say about the nature of reality? Do we live in a mathematical simulation? Is the universe consciously designed, or is there an even deeper explanation that is beyond our current understanding? Cosmic explorers, here's a question for you to ponder and share in the comments. If you could ask the universe one question, directly about the number 137, what would it be? What do you think this mystery can teach us about our existence and our place in the cosmos? And since we are talking about fundamental mysteries, what other enigmas of physics and cosmology would you like me to explore in future videos? Leave your suggestions in the comments. Perhaps you're curious about black holes, dark matter, or extra dimensions of space-time. We're on an incredible journey toward 1,000 cosmic explorers. If this video sparked your curiosity about the fundamental mysteries of the universe, join our crew by clicking subscribe. Together, we're building a community passionate about discovery and knowledge. Like this video if it expanded your horizons on how the universe works at its deepest level, and share it with someone else who's fascinated by the enigmas of existence. In the next video, we'll explore another mystery that will make you question everything you think you know about reality. Until then, cosmic explorers, keep looking at the stars and asking questions. After all, in a universe governed by numbers like 137, who knows what other secrets are waiting to be discovered?